Thanks for clicking on State of the City. My name's Todd Prafke. I'm the City Administrator here in Saint Peter, and today is the 8th, and I have two main missions today, one of which is to cover the workshop from the 6th and a few tidbits of information that I hope are helpful to you. Here's the agenda from the 6th, the workshop on the 6th. And so a number of different items were talked about. So let me just hit on a couple of the big ones. First of all, the water tower project. As you may or may not know, we are in the process of going through the engineering and the bidding on doing a refurbishment, or what most people will notice as a repainting of the Broadway water tower, just the water tower just off Broadway Avenue, just above Sunrise, or just west of Sunrise Avenue. A project like this is anywhere from it's around $700,000 to $800,000, so it's a lot of money, and a lot of things need to happen. It's both a refurbishment of the inside of the water tower and the outside of the water tower. Probably the most significant issue that folks will notice is that as we repaint the outside of the water tower, it will get a different logo on it, actually much more up to date, like the logo that we have on the water tower, on the Sunrise Drive water tower in the north end of town. This is really necessary stuff. Water towers are big investments, and once in a while you have to do some work to touch them up, weld, fix some holes if there are little holes or little areas where they're rusting. Make sure that you have a paint that's applied appropriately. And for us, we're using a state law that provides for us to use best value contracting, which means that we not only take into consideration the price, but we also take into consideration the history, the track record, the abilities of the contractor. This is something that you don't want to have messed up because you don't want to do it 2 times or 2 years in a row. And typically what we see is a water tower of this type, for the amount of use that we get, this type of refurbishment will last anywhere from 12 to 16, 17 years, depending on a lot of different factors. But that's likely what's going to happen for us. So anyway, watch for that work. The council will be seeing bids in the next few weeks, and that work will occur over the warmer months, over the summer months. So we'll keep you up to date on what's going on with that. The next one that we have is the council's looking at purchasing a tandem truck. This is something that we've planned for as a part of the equipment certificate, the general fund. Tandem truck means big dump truck. If you're not familiar with the truck logo, it's a big dump truck. And so a truck like this will cost in excess of $200,000 by the time you buy the truck. Get the boxes, get all the plows and all the hydraulics and all that kind of stuff on it. So it's a big purchase, an important purchase, and a piece of equipment that gets used heavily within the city of St. Peter. The last one that I'll talk about is Recreation Department. You'll see that on the agenda there, and some of the job descriptions. This specifically deals with the areas that are a couple of jobs that are in the library, the public library. And so some of you may recall that we had made some changes related to rec department jobs that are more in the community center, more dealing with recreation. And so part of the effort here is to help ensure that we're removing those silos within our system that don't help us integrate the services that we provide. So let me use an example, and this may or may not happen, but it's a good example, I think, is that I think people expect different types of opportunities for themselves and their children related to recreation. And so one of the things that we want to make sure that we do is we view more and more the public library as being, well, not a research library or anything like that, but using the library as part of recreation. And so shouldn't the programs be more integrated together? And so part of what we're doing is with these job descriptions is, again, helping eliminate some of those silos and helping ensure that these folks can work across the different segments of recreational opportunities that are available within our community. And we think that's a good thing. A lot of this gets stimulated from a long-term plan that we've had, but also from a resignation and retirement that occurred in the recreation department. And so as a matter of our regular practice, we review job descriptions. And so this is an offshoot of that long-range plan and some changes within our personnel and an opportunity to look at this a little bit differently, and we hope provide additional, better, enhanced, more integrated services to you. So anyway, that's what we're working on. Let me talk about one other thing that wasn't exactly on the agenda. Well, I know it wasn't on the agenda at all, but I think it's something that's really important. It relates to our community hospital, Rivers Edge Hospital, and I know I show you this all the time, and here's the logo that we use, and this is a piece of information that you may have received in a mailbox not that long ago about urgent care within the city of St. Peter. What I'm hoping to do is not just talk about urgent care, although that's really important, and the Prafkes use it, and maybe you use it, and a really great service within our community. But overall, having a larger community discussion about changes that are occurring in the hospital. If you weren't aware, the hospital is super busy, and we're very happy about that. That means a lot of people within our community are receiving service there, and a lot of people from outside of our community are receiving service there through Ortho Edge, the orthopedic and fracture clinic, and Rivers Edge Hospital kind of partnership, providing for joint replacements there at the hospital, and it's 5-star rated. The service is fantastic. The outcomes are wonderful. The people that take care of you if you're in the hospital are just without peer. They do a fantastic job. And so we've been recognized in so many different ways for the quality of service and outcomes that are there. And so that's all fantastic. But what that has done is stimulated this discussion about the need for other services being provided within our community, and the need for us to have more hospital beds available, not only for the folks that provide those Ortho Edge services, but also for swing beds or folks that are admitted to our hospital through the emergency room. And there are many times during the average week where there just isn't a bed available. If you were sick in St. Peter, you could come to the emergency room here, certainly, but if you were supposed to stay overnight, may not be able to stay overnight. And so that's something that doesn't meet our core mission. And so there's been this ongoing discussion for more than a year, a couple of years, about should we expand? When do we expand? How do we expand? How do we finance that? Some of the internal pieces within the hospital about where's physical therapy and where's this room and where's that room, and how do we move things around to make it flow better and to provide for extra space. And so all of that's been really, really, really great discussion, very important discussion about the future of our hospital. And so as we come to that conclusion within the next month or so, a number of different things are really coming to the point of contact here. One of which is there's a big financial analysis that gets done. It costs a lot of money, about $30,000 to do this financial analysis, and it helps anyone that might be looking to be involved financially with the hospital understand where we get our money from, how does it all fit together, what is the potential for us to have revenues in the future based on certain assumptions on use or growth in use, or maybe a slight reduction in use, or having steady use. It also includes doing, or not that study, but another study also includes a master plan for, again, as I mentioned, what room goes where and what services provided where, and do we move things around, and if you do expand the hospital, how do you expand it to make sure that you don't have too long a hallway and that the nurses can get every place they need to be quickly and all that kind of stuff. And so as those two things come together and the commission and the council start to make decisions about the hospital, this is a really important decision within our community. It's not just about a lot of money, because we're really talking about whether we spend $2 million or $10 million or $20 million or more on hospital expansion. It's a lot of money for our community, but just as importantly, it's about the institution that the hospital is, and even more importantly, it's about what do we want for our community? What do we see as an important services that are provided within our community, not just today, but in the future? So as we think about the hospital, we got to take all those things into consideration. And so I'm really happy that the commission and the council have looked at this many times and are really taking a very practical but methodical look at how all of this fits together. And so I think you should be happy about that too. And my goal here is to give you a little bit more information about what that is, how does that look, and what their discussion is. And so watch for that. I'm sure you'll see more in the newspaper, and certainly there'll be more in the hot sheet and on my video blog here and on the city's website, and certainly on the hospital's website. So watch for that. A really important thing within our community. So now let me get to some tidbits. First of all, summer job applications, job openings are on now for the summer. So if you're looking for a summer job, whether it's a public works or the recreation department or some of the other things that we have going on, now is the time to apply. You can get that application on our website, or you can call us or stop by and we'll send it to you, or you can pick one up if you want. So those are for jobs at the public pool, at public works, and in the rec department at the community center and some of the parks, so watch for that. We're also still advertising for recreation supervisor and assistant recreation supervisor, and so we're excited to get all this stuff going for what will be really probably one of the busiest summers we've ever had here in St. Peter. We're also looking for transit drivers, and customer service specialists, folks that do kind of dispatching and clerical support for the transit system. So watch for those applications. You can find out more on our website. Check out the hot sheet. We'll be happy to provide you with more information or an application if you're interested in applying. We're also looking for a part-time payroll clerk. So again, contact us. We'll be happy to send you that application as you stop by and pick it up. I also want to congratulate the Chamber on Winterfest. A lot of great things have been happening over Winterfest. Medallion hunt was fun this year. I know a lot of people were out there looking, and a lot of posts on Facebook about people out there looking. And certainly the Polar Plunge was a great success this year, as always. Dog licenses are due, and if you're one of the last few landlords out there that hasn't got your rental license or your inspection scheduled, get that scheduled. It's an important thing. We want to make sure, and from a city perspective, one of the reasons we do this licensing and these inspections is to make sure those places are safe for renters. And so we appreciate the landlords that are super cooperative with us, and those that are lagging behind a little bit, please help us help you continue to make your apartments safe for the folks that live there. Okay, here we go. Here's how you can contact us. There's my email address. There's where you can pick us up on the web, stpetermn.gov. Or we would love it if you like us on Facebook. There's our phone number. Give me a call. I'm running out of time. Thanks for clicking on State of the City. I hope to see you again next time.